In 1998, the Washington Wizards selected Jahadi White out of Georgetown University. During his time with the Wizards, Jahadi White made a lasting impact on the franchise and its fans. His aggressive style of play was a force to be reckoned with in the paint, rebounding at a high clip, playing tough defense, and leading the Wizards in field goal percentage. DC family, please welcome back Jahadi White.
First of all, that is a good reel. That was too good not to use. That's well put together, and
it's kind of hard not to.
yeah, I mean that was ridiculous. At least two posters, a couple bodies caught there. Love that. So good work by the Wizards clipping that one together. Very cool. Jahadi, the Wizards are bad. They could use you in the interior right now. I think you go out today and make a difference for them. They're just getting destroyed in the paint, on 3-point line, everywhere. The defense is just especially tough right now. They're 3-18, coming off a 45-point loss to Boston, which is the largest margin of defeat by an NBA team this season. This is the first time Brian Keefe has not gotten up on the podium after and said, like, oh, you know, this is part of the process. He looked a little dejected and shell-shocked by this one. If the season ended today, the Wizards' defensive rating of 124.6 would be the worst in NBA history. They haven't just lost 18 games, they've just gotten boat raced in most of them. And this is from Ben Strober, who does Locked On Wizards, said this the worst NBA season ever was the 1972-73 Philadelphia 76ers. They had 18 losses by 30 or more points. The Wizards have already lost by 30 or more 5 times, so they're well on their way. Is this the worst NBA team ever?
No, I don't think so at all. And I don't think this is a bad Wizards team.
Okay.
Right now, we're going through a lot of injuries with our top guys, in and out a lot,
Sure.
you know, so that breaks up the chemistry a lot. Mm-hmm. We still have a lot of principles that we need to work on that really could help us out. Okay. You still have some players trying to figure themselves out, or what type of player they want to be, what type of player they're trying to be in comparison, what type of player they need to be at the time they need to be it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, and then you see a incline sometimes, and we're starting to win some games, a few games, and then it's a big decline right afterwards. Yeah. So, you know, that can bring the intensity of the decline. It can make it feel worse, especially. Sure. And then the decline comes from teams like the 76ers. Then you have Boston, which you got to read that differently. Even though the Boston game, Jaylen Brown was out, and, you know, Tatum is out, you know, the main guys is out, but their principles are different. Yeah. Their level of urgency is different. Their level of accountability, if they don't do certain things, is different, right? Mm-hmm. So their level of execution really on the defensive end is they're held to a different standard, and it's no playing with that. So when you see those different types right there, and then you got the players out too, so you kind of get you got to look at that Boston loss as what things can we work on with this? What did we learn from this? Where can we be better? Where can we create more accountability at? You know, where can we hold a standard at that's immovable? Like, you know.
Yep.
So I look at it that way.
I think that's all fair. My question back would be, how does Boston build that level of accountability, and why can't this franchise seem to do that? And like, you're looking at the names on this Celtics roster, and are they like markedly more talented than the names on this Wizards roster? I mean, like, so how did they go about establishing that? And the Wizards have just not been able to do that here for forever.
obsessed. It's a different. I mean, I think Keith is a good coach.
Okay.
And I think he's made our players better. I think we don't seem as erratic, if I could say. You know, you don't. It looks like we're more following protocol.
Okay.
Than we look like in the past, right? So now we're on board. I don't see any player that's not on board. Even when Cam looked like he was
he's breaking from
becoming
the script
rogue
a little bit,
right?
Yeah.
He's starting to kind of even come in line and on board right now. So
I thought the last two have been a departure, though. Honestly, I thought I saw more of the like. All right,
yeah,
I'm calling my own number a bit. Yeah,
he caught, and it's starting to. Yeah, he is. And even in this game, he did it a lot. This game, last game too, to where he had some good dump offs right there to Tristan, and he was being selfish with it.
Yeah.
But you know, it was a point to where he was falling in line more. So I think there's more of accountability and the protocol, like holding them, you know, following the protocol more than there used to be. But it's levels to it.
Yeah.
Right. I think Boston coaches, if you listen to him and the way he talked, you're not gonna get every coach can't be that.
No, I know.
He's a little obsessed. Like he's
just, it's special. Yeah. Like it's a different
special. So you know, like what? Doesn't mean that our coach isn't good or stay awake at night trying to focus on how he can make the team better. But it's just levels to this. Everybody, so you know, and players, even in the NBA, a lot of times, especially like a team like Boston, they take on the personality of their coach.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm looking at this Boston blowout as saying, okay, not throw it out. Okay. Study it.
Okay.
Like,
so what can we learn from
all
that?
Can we gain from this? Like, if you even watch the defensive principles on Boston, it's different. Our defensive principles make sure we get to that middle line. You know, we try to close in gaps. Cool. But their defensive principle is it's always going to be a roaming wild guy to help.
Yep.
Right? So it's not just, and it may be from the opposite corner. So even if I'm driving to the basket, as soon as I land on 2 feet, there's another guy. That's kind of just a wild roamer right there. So if I spin, he's going to be there on my spin. Before I go, and it's a proactive guy. So it's not a preventative type of situation. It's like even before that. So, you know, and they don't leave space on the perimeter. No. Even when we're playing perimeter defense, we're there, but we're leaving too much space, right? The goal on their perimeter is, we're not getting, you don't be there first and don't get the shots off. So it's just different. Yeah. You know, so if I'm Keith and I'm the coaching staff, I'm saying, let's study this. Because it's not that we're doing anything wrong. It's just, okay, how crazy can we be with this? How obsessed, how maniacal can we be with this to the point to where, like, we're not leaving a lot on the table, right?
Yep.
So I look at our defense, we're still getting too many paint touches.
Oh, yeah.
Our rotation guy is late a lot of times on pick and rolls. That roll guy. The role guy on the offensive end when we're playing defense, he's always getting to the basket.
Yeah, always.
You know, so
especially with Sarr out. I mean, it was even more glaring without him.
Yeah, and usually the guy who helps on the role guys it's going to have to be a rotating guard that's small.
Exactly.
The role guy is going to be a huge big.
Yeah.
Right. So you can't be there late.
Right.
You're rather to kick out.
Yeah.
Right. So this is what I see. We're playing defense of what the offense is doing.
You're reacting to everything. There's no forcing the action.
Some teams dictate and tell you what to do with their defense.
Absolutely.
Right? So now the only guy who's open it's going to most likely the next pass is going to be this guy, right?
worst
Because
guy on
we're
the team.
making that the next pass,
Exactly.
right? So we're going to make this the next pass.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're rotating, knowing this is the next pass because this is the only option we're giving you, right? With on paint touches, any paint touch, we're jamming it so bad. We're having a roamer who's going to roam. So now paint touches get wiry and out of control because we expect to land on 2 feet and then be able to do one of our moves. Well, you can't do that with a roamer, right?
I agree.
Extending guys, when I'm watching in the paint on rebounding, it's the 2 or 3 or 4 guys in there.
Yeah.
So they're hitting bodies early. So it's just more of an aggressive mindset with that team. But why? That team has been a team that's been to the finals, won the finals. Like, it's a different pressure for a coach.
Yeah. He's
I'm not playing against the Wizards. I'm playing against, even though you take every game, game by game, day by day.
He's getting them ready for the Oklahoma City
But he's getting them ready for crazy shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you say, he's getting ready for Oklahoma City, in the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, we can be like, wow, we got blown out. Yeah, but that team is experienced. That team has a different level of accountability that the players better not try to buck the system. You have a coach who's completely obsessed and has a black belt judo mindset that shows wildlife film of so more of
different. I mean,
what can we learn from this?
Yeah, I would like to see us try to model that standard. And you heard for years about like the Heat standard, and Pat Riley wouldn't accept this, and this. So you still hear those stories now. Like, I need the Wizards to get 30% of that. Even the defense looks very vanilla to me. To your point, like it's okay. I'm gonna help the helper. Like last night there was a play where Derek White just blew by C.J. McCollum on the right side of the court, right wing, and went untouched to the rim. Like, that should never happen, where there's no rotation. Guys are standing flat-footed looking at you from the other side of the paint. Like, nobody came over. He just, like, waltzes to the rim. And I'm looking around like, okay, who was supposed to rotate there and who didn't? Because that person should come out of the game immediately after something that glaring, and nothing happened. So then I'm watching like, okay, well, what's the accountability? Like, I can point this out to you in film the next day, but if there's no
real time,
I don't know. Yeah, there needs to be something punitive of like, that will not fly here. You cannot do that. That was your fault, and you know it. Sit your ass down for 2 minutes and watch how this guy does it. And if the next guy does it, then he stays out there and keeps going. Like, there's got to be something at some point where you draw the line and you say, okay, well, like, that's not what we do anymore. When you've got like the one of the younger teams in the league with young, fresh legs, I would love to see this team be proactive, try to force like action, like rotate crazy all over the place. You might get beat more because they're not as locked in with each other because they're younger, they don't understand all the principles. But like, use that to your advantage. Like, an older team in the middle of December, they don't want to be doing this shit and running around all crazy to chase you, and they don't want you to be busting them like 94 feet. We're seeing teams like Toronto be successful because they're picking guys up full court and saying like, all right, you're going to get you're going to use up half the shot clock just to get this ball, to start your set, let alone to run whatever you want. And the Wizards are totally dropping back and letting guys come to them and just being, like I said, so reactive. That's your one great advantage is you've got young, fresh legs and waves of them. So use it in some way. I just don't want to see this be the most like vanilla team in the league. Okay, cool. Here's another horn set, or here's another Spain pick and roll. Like, it's just, okay, man, like, we're doing the same shit every time. It's not really working. So like, you got 14 coaches on the staff. Someone doesn't have a more creative idea about something we can do. Like, at least be hard for other teams to prepare for. Zig when they zag. Just throw some unique wrinkle in. I don't know, play more zone than everybody else plays. Whatever it is. Just, I want to see something a little different than what they've been doing. And if you're consistently the worst defensive team in the league, whatever the personnel is, at some point I would say, maybe our defense does not work for the guys that we have, or we're not capable of getting them to buy into it enough. What could we do? What could we change? What could we adapt? And I've not seen anything different over the last 2 years from that end.
I think the game of basketball, especially in the NBA game, has transitioned and has moved so fast to where it used to be, right? Mm-hmm. So offensive wise, now you're running more actions than plays. Back in my day, we had 20, 30 plays.
Set play, yeah.
Now these guys have 1 to 4 different type of actions, and everybody got to be free and figure out how to be able to function out of those actions. So that's where the offensive part of the NBA game is now. It's taken from Europe and blah, blah, blah. The defensive side of the NBA game hasn't caught up to the offense yet, right? Yeah. So all the principles that we've learned that's been working and we stick with from high school to the NBA, it's ingrained in the players. Has still been the same. You can't do that now. You have to be
disruptive. That's the word.
You have to be a disruptor.
That's absolutely
right. So now you have to come up with a disruptive type of defensive plan and scheme. And it's going to look wild and it's going to look unorganized. But that's how you catch up with the offense of the NBA.
That's what Toronto is doing specifically. They've got all these young athletic dudes and they're saying, dribble that shit across half court against us. We're going to send 3 6'8" athletes at you. And if you beat us, like, all right, we might get burned a few times, but we're willing to take the shot that more times than not, it's thrown off what you want to do. And NBA teams, they may run, certain actions, but sometimes it's like a fake action into another one. And like, well, now I can't do that if I wasted 7 more seconds each time. So now I'm not running exactly what I want to in an optimal setting. Like, you forced their hand. And I have never seen this Washington team do that one single time. So I just want them to just try something different at a certain point. What do you have to lose? You're still losing,
Because traditional defense, the traditional defense has been let's take away everything.
Right.
It's set up to take away everything.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore.
Well, now you can't take away everything.
No.
So we got to be, what are we willing to give up? And what are we willing to make sure it doesn't get to the point, to the thing that we're giving up? So we're going to give this up. Let's make sure we disrupt all these other things and stop all these other things so that thing is never even a thought.
Yep.
And for them to have to get to that one thing, it's going to be, they're going to have to go through hell and high water. Yep. So it's about the schemes now, the defensive scheme. And so just have to be very creative.
Sure. And it can't just be, all right, we're going to live with this weak side corner 3 every time because at least we forced them into a tough shot where we're scrambling to contest it. Like, certain players should not be helped off of, in my opinion. When Derek White is 5 for 7 from 3 to start a game, don't help off Derek White. Like, it's just, it shouldn't be, where, like, I think sometimes it's more complicated than it is. Like, I know you don't want to give the guys too much, or the scouting report can't be overly complicated, or whatever the case may be, but like, certain basketball fundamentals still apply, that if you're going to force somebody into taking an open shot, have it be the worst shooters, not the best ones.
Yeah.
Like last night, I mean, Derek White's not like lighting the world on fire from 3. Exactly. That's the dude I don't want with his feet set hitting wide open threes.
We don't, maybe we don't allow paint touches, but Derek White, let's get him in the paint. And then once he's in the paint, we have something different for him.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly right. And like, he's shooting 33% from 3. So maybe they're saying they're willing to live with him, be the one taking open threes, but he's the best player on the team when those other guys are out. Yeah. I'm just not giving him the looks. I'm just not. I'm
shooting 3 times more shots.
Sam Hauser is going to have to beat me, whether he's a great shooter or not. The dude barely plays. Yep. Like, let's not barely plays, but you know what I mean? Like, he's going to have to be the one that I say, like, all right, if you can do it, young fella, you can do it. And he's not Joey Hauser, like, he's not the shooter. So, I mean, he's pretty good. But anyway, All right, let's keep it moving here a little bit. I just want to go through Keith's comments about this, just for folks who didn't see them. He said, "I didn't see our identity on how we play basketball, and that's not acceptable. These losses you should be upset with. We should all be upset, so you should use this as fuel. It's painfully obvious we didn't meet the standard we want to play at. We have to own that and buckle down to get better. Tonight we had a step back. We have to reevaluate what we're doing." So I hope that's not lip service, because I need that to be true. Like, maybe it's time to say what you've been doing to our points for the last 15 minutes aren't working. But teams can watch certain teams in the league and say, like Boston, that's what their standard is. That's their identity. I still don't know what the identity is for the Wizards or what they're even shooting for. And I think that's what's challenging. But I don't know. Any thoughts on any of Keith's comments before we move on?
Yeah, so the identity differs, right?
Okay.
I think the Wizards' identity is that they're young, they don't give up, they're going to push you, you're going to be in the game. That's how it started off, right?
Yeah.
The difference is, is our identity offense or defense, right? And what I'm saying this is because every team, no matter who it is, even OKC, their identity leans one way or the other, right? Yeah. Most playoff teams' identity leans toward defense.
Yeah, I think so.
So when you play against a Boston, it's going to be a tough defensive team, right? They're going to get their offense however they get it, but defense is what their identity will be, right? It's hard to say, okay, we lost. So if I'm a player and it's a struggle offensively because this team is doing everything on the defensive side, being more physical, more urgent, more scrappy, more, bringing the fight more. Some players either try to match it, which is tough when you're on your heels.
Yeah.
Or they're like, oh, this is overwhelming. And I think once that, we have young guys, so sometimes that type of defense and that crazy maniacal defense could become overwhelming, and they start pulling back, right? And I think that's what Keith saw. So now he's saying, okay, we have to stick with our identity. It's tough. Yeah. It's tough with teams like that. When I remember when I would play and we would have to play the 76ers when I was with the Wizards. And I'm like, 76ers was hell. I know I'm big, strong, physical, man, but it's like when you feel like it's not 5 guys out there, you feel like it's 10 guys on defense, and you're getting hit every which way before your head turn, right? That's hard to keep motivation up to keep playing with that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and then you don't want to say, oh man, this is too much, because you got to keep pushing. So, but even when you push and you already caught on your heels, you got McKee coming from here. You got just so much, and that's kind of how Boston plays. So that's why I keep saying, hey, this is more of a learning lesson than anything. You know what I'm saying? You can look at it as a wipeout, but it's different levels to this. And Boston has been going on a good trajectory lately because they're getting ready for what they have a mission and what they're getting ready for.
If they get Tatum back, they might be the best team in this conference.
So look, how much can we steal?
Yeah.
How much can we say, okay, if I'm the coach, I'm saying, I'm going back to the drawing board and I'm watching that every day and I'm taking it and then I'm saying, okay, now what's the standards?
Yeah.
What I'm not willing to deal with. What if no one misses their assignment defensively wise.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's no one even thinks, it's not even a thought or an option.
Mm-hmm.
How can I implement that?
Yep. I like that as a let's use them as like a here's where we want to get to, because I don't know, if I'm Keith, I'm holding up a picture of Sam Hauser, Neemias Queta, Jordan Walsh, like Hugo Gonzalez. I'm saying, like, are these dudes better than you? Because they just beat your ass. Like, so what did they do differently that we didn't? And I think sometimes it's easier to make it that point than it is with like, okay, the Thunder came in here and SGA put up 40 on you. It's like, well, yeah, he might be the best player in the world. Like, that's different. But is is Jordan Walsh the best player in the world? Then why'd he get 25 on us and you can't do that? Like, at least it's something to point to. They play the
Because
Hawks.
defense dictates offense.
Yeah, right.
Every time.
It should. Yeah. Wizards play tonight against the Hawks at 7 p.m. So I'm maybe more interested in this game than any other game this season. I want to see how they respond. I want to see, you took a haymaker to the face. Like, do they do anything different? Do they look differently? Is there a different level of energy? Or do they look kind of listless again? I think that'll say a lot about this team and this group if they're embarrassed by last game.
Yeah, sometimes games like the Boston game makes you come together closer.
Yeah.
And sometimes it breaks you apart further.
Yeah.
So it depends on how strong-willed this team is and whoever leading this team as a player. Like, he has an obligation and a duty more than any time right now.
Yep. Exactly.
Like, this is going to show not the coaches, because the coaches now are they went to the press. They let you know how they feel.
Right.
Who's the guy that say, nah, like, this, I'm not settling for this.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to settle for this. All right. So that's now whoever that leader is, primary leader on that team, the captain. This is now where he needs to show, okay, am I up to this? Or because now there's going to be, now he's exposed.
Mm-hmm. It's gut check time. Like,
yeah, he's exposed. Are you going to be able to handle the heat and bring the team together?
I don't know who the leader on this team is, and that's part of the challenge to me too. When they talk about this, like, even in years where they weren't good, like one of the Westbrook years where they weren't good, you still knew who the guy leading shit in the locker room was, and the way everybody talked about player X says a lot about a team. I have not heard that much this year of like, this is the guy clearly leading us. You hear about vet mentorship from Gil and guys like that, but I'm not hearing like, yeah, CJ says something, we all fall in line, blah, 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 or CJ talked to me, or Chris Middleton talked to me. Like, I just don't know that they're that kind of dude. And that may be part of the challenge here too. It's just that there really isn't that guy. Those guys might be short timers here, so maybe they don't feel the need to take on those extra responsibilities, but But by where they've been in their career, they kind of need to be. So, and maybe they are. It may just not be something these guys say.
We may not know, but I'd say like this: in the position CJ is in, this is going to be one of those things that's going to say, okay, we want to keep him in the league longer, right? Because now he's an older player, a veteran player. He has to do more than to be able to put up shots.
Yep.
He's going to have to bring something to the locker room and to the team.
Yep. Yeah, 100% agree. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like button for us as we keep going. We really appreciate you guys doing that. It helps Wizards fans find the show, and that's always a good thing. Next thing I want to talk about, it's just been probably the topic of the Wizards internet, social media discourse right now, is just where we are with Bub Carrington. This is per NBA Crazy Stats on Twitter. In his first 100 career games, Bub Carrington has recorded a plus-minus of minus 1,026. This is the worst plus-minus in any 100-game span since the 1996-97 season. I'm not the biggest individual plus-minus guy in a vacuum from game to game. I don't know that it really tells you what people want it to tell you. Like it more for certain lineup combos over like long stretches of time, sample size, but that's still not a great sign for him, and I think it reflects some of what we're seeing on the court. This team has not been better with him on it so far this year. I think there's a certain portion of fans that are over that already and want to see at least there be, when we talk about that accountability word, I think some fans think if you play bad, there should be a reactionary, now you lose minutes accordingly. I've been more of the opinion that, all right, he's probably doing the right things in practice, being a good teammate, locked in, knows the plays, and they're willing to keep rewarding the process, even if the results aren't paying off the way they would want it to. And you've got another subsection of fans that have said, like, look, Bub went through a personal tragedy last year. It's clearly affecting him, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's clearly not himself, and we should be patient with him. So I don't know, Jahadi, make sense of this for us. You've been in the league. You've been in these locker rooms. If you have a young guy that showed some promise as a rookie, takes a big step back in year 2, how patient do you be with him? Does that start to set a bad precedent if he just continues to struggle and you keep giving him the same amount of minutes? Like, I don't know. How should the Wizards handle this situation?
In the end of the day, basketball is a business. It's big business.
Sure.
I don't know what the Wizards going to do with this particular situation, but if I'm Bub, I got to learn. I better realize right now this is a business.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not about feelings. It's not about liking me or not liking me or he's a good guy in the practice. It's not about that. So yeah. I think the Wizards need to tell Bub exactly what they need from him. And Bub needs to figure out, what do I do good? Like,
mm-hmm.
What is my thing? Every player has their main thing that they do well.
Yeah.
And
what's
then
your personal identity? Yeah.
Yeah. What's my personal identity? When I'm on the scout report, when I get on the scout report, what is the other team saying they need to stop with me? Like,
mm-hmm.
if I'm not on the scout report, then that's bad, right? I need to get on the other team scout report.
Mm-hmm.
And thing with Bub is, I think what he's trying to work on and become better with is not what the team needs, right?
Okay.
I think it's not bad what he's working on. I think he's jumping steps.
Okay.
Right. He's going from 1 to 5.
Yeah.
But right now, the Wizards need steps 3 and 4 really bad.
Right.
And 3 and 4 is becoming a true point guard.
Mm-hmm.
Bub is not a true point guard right now.
I agree.
And he's trying, and instead of him learning how to become a true point guard, he's not watching a true point guard either. So that's another thing. He's watching a scoring point.
Yeah.
Right. So if I'm behind CJ and I'm like, well, I got to be just as good as CJ, I'm thinking I got to put up all these shots.
Sure.
Right. Instead of saying, who am I going to be? I need to be something that they can depend on that's opposite of CJ. Yeah. So I see Bub trying to get in the lane a lot, which is fine, but he's trying to score in the lane a lot, which is not good.
Doesn't have the athleticism or the dynamic motion to be effective getting to the rim.
So not only that, I have to, as a point, I have to be a creator.
Yeah.
He's just swinging it around the perimeter. And he's not really getting paint touches. He's getting to the arc and the free throw line and trying to create from there. But I have to dictate what the defense is going to do. I have to manipulate the defense, right? Make them draw to me. I have eyes in the back of my head, see what's already open, know what my options are. So while I'm making micro decisions, driving down, now I can create. Now so I got to be a facilitator first, but I just can't facilitate around the perimeter.
Yeah.
Also, he doesn't rebound well from the opposite side when if he's checking the opposite side wing, he got to go in there and get a lot of boards.
I thought he did that better last year. That's where I've seen the drop off. Like, he's missing more shots from mid range and stuff this year. But to me, it's like those kind of effort plays on the glass. Like, I haven't seen that.
Yeah. So so with him, it's I think it's just convoluted of where the team needs him to be, where he thinks he needs to be, and actually what his identity needs to be. You know what I'm saying? And those three things are in three different places at the moment.
I like that. I've long maintained that I see him as more of a third guard, not a really good NBA starter, but somebody that can be capable enough off ball to be a backup guard next to a dynamic point guard, or someone who can run second units, something like that. I would, to your point, I think not be watching a CJ. I'd be watching a Tyus Jones or like a pure like offense runner who can hit enough shots off ball to make defenses pay. And I think he's.
Okay. I mean, cut you off, but then you just made me think of something. And he plays at one pace.
Mm-hmm.
A point guard plays at 4 or 5 different paces on purpose.
Yeah, it keeps people on their heels, right?
Like yeah. Sometimes just he's one pace. So he has to truly learn to be a point guard, a true point guard. Not saying he's not a basketball player.
Sure.
Right. But his size makes him a point guard.
Mm-hmm.
You have to really embody what it takes to be a point guard and what a point guard truly is, and just be that right now. Learn that first. Get that down to like the ninth degree. Get all that down, and then build from there.
I would lock in defensively. I would be trying to grab some rebounds and start the break myself. And then I can make some good decisions in transition. And I would focus on, if I were him, I would shoot as many threes as I can right now, because he's shooting the three well. Like, he showed improvement this year. Mm-hmm. He's over 40% from three for the season, but it's not on crazy volume.
Yeah.
I think if he's a real threat from the 3-point line, teams have to close out on him a little tougher. Now he can attack the closeout, get downhill a little more. He's manipulated the defense, to your point. And then I trust him to make good kickouts, things like that. Maybe you can get to the rim a little more easily, or you force them into rotation. Like, there's some way for him to break a defense down, and I think doing that is just I cannot help off of Bub Carrington. Like, that's what I want to see from them on the scouting report, is like, number one, do not leave this guy. And I think that's something. He's got the touch. He's shown he can do it. If you could, like, the rate he hit those tough mid-range pull-ups last year, it means you've got touch. And with the improvement we've seen from the 3-point line this year, I think he's shown enough progress there that, like, I think he could be a plus 3-point shooter in the NBA. So now if you're a 3-and-D guard plus who can run offense, that's at least a really good role you've carved out for yourself. And then over time, if you show you can add more, great. But at least you've started with the foundation with where you were going. Like, that's what I know Bub can do. That's it. And if you go the Derek White route and you show over time you can add more, like, okay, like, that's great. That's a win. But at least you've established, I'm this player in the league, and that's a good place to start from.
Derek White is a good point guard to really study from. Not now. I would go to early Derek White first, and then study him up to now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
He just defended and he hit open shots. Like, that was the whole.
And he was a great facilitator.
Yeah.
So
they're similarly sized. White's not like this crazy athlete. I think he's a little quicker than Bub, but I don't know. I would love to know who they have him watching film of to see who they want him to turn into.
So I don't think it's a day. I get what you're saying. Mm-hmm. It's a Bub thing, right? Like, because somebody can tell me all day what they want me to,
right?
Until I tell myself, and then I'm like dedicated. Because if you tell me, I think you need to start watching King Olajuwon, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. Right.
Sure. Yeah.
But until I decide myself what I want to do and who I need to watch and the right person, that's when it's going to start.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. Last guy I want to talk about here before we close this one out is our guy, Kyshawn George. This is from Bijan Todd, tweeted this one out. It says, Kyshawn has talked about his consistency and is saying that's something he needs to get better at. I'm going to try to figure it out right now, to be honest. This is the second time I've heard him say something similar this season where it's I need to find a way to get more consistent. I don't know how to do that. To me, I would love to know how the Wizards are helping him address that. To me, if you've got a player development focused staff, consistency would be the number one thing. These guys get to where they are because there are flashes and potential there. It's how do you turn that into the norm instead of the outlier? So there should be a work plan or an action plan for them to help him build toward that. But I don't know, how do you build consistency in the NBA? Like how do you get from like, oh, that was a good one game every three, one out of every 3 games is good to now it's 4 out of every 5 is good.
In the NBA, you got to realize every game is different.
Okay.
We train to build our games. And so when you're younger, you're bringing that game you built to every game.
Mm-hmm.
But in the NBA, every team is different.
Yep.
You can't be consistent bringing the same game every time. You do things well, and you have a dip style that you play in and all this.
Mm-hmm.
But playing against Boston is going to be different from playing against Atlanta.
Sure.
I'm going to be consistent when I realize what Atlanta gives me in comparison to what Boston gives me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Boston, the elbows are open and the corner, so whatever, that's open.
Yeah.
Now, how can I create? So now, if that's the case, maybe it need to be a more back to the basket game that day, right? Because they're going to be more physical. In Atlanta, they help late or whatever, which they don't. But the lane is more open, right? So now I have to build my game. So what do I have now in my repertoire for that?
Yep.
Right. Let me attack those. So consistency comes when you're taking each game by itself. You're separating the games and then taking your game and saying, what do I bring in my game that's I guarantee bring to this game?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
And then if something's open and is more free, then I can also do everything else. But I guarantee you have to understand what this particular game is going to give me to be able to score. Sometimes it may not give me what I'm used to. It's not giving me my go-to.
Right.
So if it's not giving me my go-to and I'm trying to push my go-to, I'm going to have an inconsistent game.
Yeah.
But it's giving me those elbows.
Mm-hmm.
It's giving me more of a back to the basket game on a opposite box, whatever. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I gotta. That's what I gotta take. No, that's what I need to start working on. Okay, in between games, let me go to the gym and work on what this game is going to give me.
Right.
And then I'm more consistent. So right now, young players, they bring in the game that they play.
Yeah. Square peg, round hole kind of thing. Every game,
I'm going to work that way.
Right.
Yeah. So until then, you're going to be inconsistent.
I really like that. I think that was a terrific answer, and I hadn't thought of it that way, honestly. Like you have here's what I do and I bring to the game, and these are my moves, but like you need counters for certain things, and not only just you need more things in your arsenal, but you need to know when to apply the right things to which settings. And I think that's probably the hardest thing for a young player is even if you got the moves, it's, oh no, this is when I need to go to plan B or plan C or plan D. And I don't know, does that just take time? Is that just practice? Is it reps, film study?
Just realizing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You just, right.
It's when you realize I want to be good.
Mm-hmm.
And my number to score every night is 25. I got to get it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not getting. I'm on the top of the scout, right?
Yeah.
So they already know what to take away. But what are they giving?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. You got to give up something. Yeah. It can't just be they stop what I do well. Oh well, I guess I'm off tonight. Like you got to find a different way.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. I think that's really all I got. Jahadi, any final thoughts or anything we didn't touch on?
Yeah. we have another guy who I think could really be a natural point guard out there on that team too.
Okay.
Riley.
Ooh,
I
okay.
like him.
I like that.
Yeah.
He's showing more than I thought we would see from him in year one.
And you can just see how natural he is when he's in traffic and jams. He don't turn that ball over. He has handle. He has he plays in the pro pace.
Yeah.
I think they should start giving him more time.
That's been the guy when Wizards fans have said less minutes for Bub, it's to carve out more minutes for Riley. That's the name that keeps coming up. I'm okay with bringing him along slowly. He played 26 minutes in this game. I think this was a particularly good game, but it's a good learning experience, like you said, against Boston. He had the 3 turnovers, but it was like from trying to do the right things and be aggressive. And I don't like that too.
I think he's raw.
Yeah, definitely raw.
Got to learn the NBA game. But he's more already of a natural point.
Mm-hmm. When they drafted him, I talked to a guy named Mike LaTulip that played at Illinois and is still around the program and does some media for them. Does media covering that team after the fact. And Mike said, you're going to be surprised about the stuff this kid can do that he hasn't even gotten to show in 1 year of college. And I think we're seeing more of that. To me, I thought he was like a year 3 kind of guy before we'd start to see much return. But this is a guy where the flashes are already more impressive than I expected them to be. So I'm not mad at that. I like seeing a few Jameer Watkins minutes in this game too. He started, didn't really do much, but he was still pesky and tried to be out there, and he didn't do anything offensively, which I kind of am okay with from a rookie perspective of not forcing anything. But at least he'll play hard defense, even if he's not, as productive as some of these other guys. So great point. Glad you shout out Riley. He deserved the mention. And more of that is good. He's been tearing up his G League minutes too. So I think you're starting to see some of that confidence translate to the NBA court. So fingers crossed. All right, everybody, that's the show. We'll be back here sometime next week to break it down. Hopefully we've seen a little feistier Wizards team and maybe some changes and some wrinkles to the game plan here. So stay tuned. Rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff. We always appreciate that. And we will catch y'all next time.